Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about the difference between waist trainers, corsets, and sweatbands. How to figure out which one you need at the specific moment. If you are using the proper one, because I see a lot of people make mistakes with which item they're using and they're getting confused and they're complaining about not getting results. And that's really just because of the misproper use of terms and media. It kind of help you guys distinguish which product you may want to use. I personally have never used a corset, however I have looked into it, and I'm going to give you exactly the reason why I don't personally use corsets, but however I'm not going to knock it. I'm a big believer in whatever works for anybody. Let's get into it. Things first, the thing I have the most knowledge about, which is obviously waist trainers. I do personally have my own line. We have waist trainers, and then we also just started selling sweatbands, so I'm super excited about that. The easiest way to distinguish a waist trainer is typically they are made up of either latex or spandex, and they have a hook and eye clasp kind of system. I actually do have my waist trainer on right now, so this is the hook and eye clasp system that I'm talking about. A lot of times people will market sweatbands as waist trainers, and that's just because waist trainers is, to put it simply, it is a high SEO word. So if you don't know what an SEO word is, it's basically like, it's how Google distinguishes things. Most people are searching up waist trainer when looking for items, so people label them as waist trainers when they're not. This right here is a sweatband. It is made of the same exact stretchy material as a waist trainer, however, it has a different fastening system. So it goes fastened up with a zipper, and it also has Velcro. That's a very easy way to distinguish. Waist trainers are intended to be used to alter your waistline. So when I talk about the difference between sweatbands and waist trainers, something that I like, this is kind of like how I refer to it as homeostasis waist. There you go. What a waist trainer does is it takes your waist beyond your homeostasis waist. So your homeostasis waist is basically just your waist at its equilibrium, what's natural for your body to be at. So for me personally, my waist's natural equilibrium, I feel like at this point in life, is typically around 28 inches. That's basically where I started at. With a waist trainer on, and when I'm really on top of my shit, I'm usually at about like a 25 to 26 inch waist, which is not my natural homeostasis waist. If I were to only use a sweatband, which we're gonna talk about exactly what sweatbands do, I would stay at my homeostasis waist. So what a waist trainer does is it works by moving in your abdominal muscles. Why can I not speak English today? What's going on? This seems a bit scary to people. Waist trainers do have dangers to them, and this is why I always try to educate you guys as best as possible so you can understand what you're getting into. Waist trainers can weaken your abdominal muscles because they are moving in your abdominal muscles. They're not working as much. It basically works by just pressing them in. You're gonna have to work on keeping your abdominal muscles engaged, which is why I suggest only wearing your waist trainer every other day to ensure that your abdominal muscles are not becoming reliant on it. It's very frightening to me when I see people wearing their waist trainers for hours and hours and hours on end for extended periods of time. It's gonna be a disaster. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you're wearing it for about, I say maximum 8 hours. For me now, I usually wear it about 2 to 3 times a week for about 5 or 6 hours at a time. But I would say a good sweet spot is 6 hours every other day. Give your body some breaks and make sure that you're definitely implementing like core workouts into your workout routine so you're keeping your abdominal muscles pretty strong. Also, another easy way to distinguish a waist trainer is that typically these items have about 20 to 25 steel bones. The thing that differs waist trainers from corsets is that waist trainers are very flexible items. So corsets typically are made of either cotton, satin, or leather. A lot of times you'll find that they're made of leather, which is why they're much more expensive compared to waist trainers. And then they also feature very rigid steel bones. So this is what makes corsets like such an intense item, and it's why I don't honestly suggest using it. I feel like you have to be very, very trained and know your limits. Corsets are something that can greatly damage your body, and it's much easier to get a whole lot more damage out of corsets than you would from waist trainers. Waist trainers, it's very, very difficult. Corsets usually also have a lace backing on it. So if you notice that the item that you have is kind of laced up and you have to pull and tighten to do that, then that means that you have a corset. Let's talk about sweatbands. This seems to be that I see most often called waist trainers, which is not at all what it is. There's actually a company I was looking at the other day called J-Scope, and they actually call their sweatbands waist trainers. What a sweatband does is reduces your water weight. It helps you reach your homeostasis waist, which is your natural waist, what your waist would be without any excess water weight being held on. It makes you sweat more, it releases your body's excess water weight, and that's what kind of results in that very flat stomach look very quickly. Sweatbands are a quick fix. It is not like a waist trainer. It's not going to do anything for you long term. It's basically going to give you results for like 1 to 3 days, and then, you know, your body will put that water weight back on depending on how much water you retain, what your diet is like, and your body's natural pattern. Sweatbands are great. I personally use them all the time for my workouts. To me, using a waist trainer and a sweatband together is like cherry on top. But it is not a fat loss agent. I see a lot of companies saying that sweatbands help you lose fat. That's literally just doesn't. Neither do waist trainers. Please don't get that confused as well. Nothing is going to make you lose weight except for being in a caloric deficit. Waist trainers do actually decrease your appetite if you're wearing them throughout your eating times. Please take your waist trainer off. Do not eat with your waist trainer on. A lot of people struggle with acid reflux because they're wearing their waist trainers while they're eating. I don't want to sell you guys a lie and be like, oh my god, waist trainers have no damage whatsoever. That's not true. If you want, I also do have a video where I talk about the dangers and myths and things about waist training and stuff. But you know, if you're just not careful, you can, I mean, it's a compressive garment, you guys, let's be real. It's squeezing on your stomach. Take it off, give yourself 30 minutes so that your body can kind of start to digest and break down food a little bit. I would say 30 minutes to an hour, and then put it back on. You will see a lot of companies marketing sweatbands as waist trainers. A very good giveaway is that they don't have steel boning in them. Actually, the waist trainer that I sell, it does have some steel boning in it. So there's 10 steel bones in here, which is why I was telling you again, like a waist trainer is not gonna have 10 steel bones in there because it's just not enough compression. The steel boning, which is very thin, you guys, like this is super thin steel boning, doesn't have anywhere near as much compression as the waist trainer. I just put that in there more so for shaping purposes so that it was a bit more rigid. For our neoprene one, because this one is a latex one, I did make a neoprene just because some people are allergic to latex, so I wanted there to be an option. The neoprene has like 5 steel bonings in it, so this one's a lot thinner. I personally prefer the latex. Most sweatbands will not have steel boning in it. Typically they're going to be just these very soft, flexible items, and then like I said, they're usually a zipper or Velcro or something along those lines. Another type of item that I see coined as like a waist trainer, which I have absolutely no clue what the fuck that item is even for. I see a lot of people selling these waist trainers that have holes in them. I'll attach a picture so you guys can see. That does absolutely nothing for you guys. Like literally nothing. It's not a waist trainer. I guess it would be considered shapewear in a way. It's not compressing, it's not creating perspiration, it's just literally for you to slip something on, and it probably shapes a little bit, but I promise you this is not doing anything for you whatsoever. And lastly, I don't have a corset on hand. I've never used corsets just because, like I said, I feel like they can be extremely dangerous, but corsets are very, very intense. And honestly, if you have, you know, enough expertise in using compressive garments and you feel like you understand and you can listen to your body, it's probably great for you because it's way more intense, like shaping your midriff, than waist trainers will ever be. I just personally would not want to use one. I really don't really care to have like a drastically tiny waist. I just wanted to kind of shape. So I feel like waist trainer is really great. I've lost about like 2 to 3, almost about, there was one point where I had like 4 inches off when I was like really on top of it, but usually I maintain about 3 inches off my waistline, which is really great. So yeah, I love waist trainers. I swear by them, but I think it's just very important for people to understand that there's a difference between sweatbands, waist trainers, and corsets, and understand what you're purchasing and what's going to be right for you. Waist trainers are not for working out. They are not for sleeping in. Please don't sleep in these things, please, Jesus Christ. I feel like, and don't work out in them, seriously. I don't know how many times I can tell people not to work out in waist trainers. If you feel like you want to put something on that's going to make you, you know, feel more confident or like shape you, that's going to be a sweatband. You're going to want to wear a sweatband while working out. Please do not wear a waist trainer, and hell yeah, do not wear a corset. Like, please do not put a corset on to do anything other than just sit in one spot. I think it's really important to know what you're using and when to use it and how to safely use it. I have an entire playlist dedicated to waist trainers that you guys can watch. I will link it. Just kind of see waist training 101. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any other questions. I sound a little low right now, and it's just because my voice for some reason hurts really bad. So I promise I'm not dying. I think I'm getting sick. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out my website, which will be in the description box down below if you're interested in purchasing any waist trainers, activewear, sweatbands. We have all that good stuff. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.